James is having a burger and carrot chai, and I'm having a very fancy salad and some carrot chai. And I brought out some honey just in case it's not sweet enough for you, James.
Oh, thank you.
But, I'm going to be reviewing vampires, zombies, werewolves, and ghosts. And I'm just going to say it's awesome. It was a really great collection if you're into reading about those sort of things, and especially, coming on Halloween. Why not, right? So borrow this from your local public library. Should be
if they haven't got rid of it.
And
that looks as though it was something they got rid of at the local library.
I don't know. I enjoyed the Count Dracula by Woody Allen so much that I read it aloud to James. He didn't laugh. I laughed while I was reading it. Like, I laughed aloud.
Everyone's got different senses of humor. That was written in 1966. Yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
And let's see, what else did I found it interesting to learn that Joe Hill was Stephen King's son, but I don't think...
I thought he was
he's not
a big Union guy from way back when.
He's not cut from the same cloth. Really,
he's not
his
that
father.
good.
He's
Is that
not
what
as
you're
good.
saying?
No, but that's just judging by this one story. So I don't know. I really enjoyed reading The Mark of the Beast by Rudyard Kipling.
Rudyard, they say he's a pretty good writer. I really haven't read anything by him aside from some poetry.
Probably my favorite story was The Girl with the Hungry Eyes by Fritz Leiber. So great. And The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde was, of course, excellent.
Yeah, I've even heard of that story.
And
most of these stories I haven't heard of.
There were some that I couldn't stand. Like, I really didn't like reading that Joyce Carol Oates story.
I always got the impression when I was young that she wrote too much. Her books were too long. Here, she writes a short story, and it's too long.
Yeah.
What's going on here? Oh, well.
And there was somebody else in here that I was like, oh my God, they need to edit. Like, it went on forever.
Yep.
I can't remember who it was.
Short story that's too long. That's just defeats the purpose, I suppose. Yeah.
Anyway.
So there were about a dozen authors in there that I'd heard of. I'm not big on reading prose, I got to admit, and short stories particularly so. Prefer novels. So I should maybe have known more of those folks, but...
maybe I'll try it that way.
So what is it?
Okay, I was going to review this salad and say... It's an awesome looking salad. It was given to me and I'm very thankful. It's a Buddha bowl, golden Buddha bowl salad. And it's local. It came from Coaldale.
Hey, not bad.
Yeah.
About 10 miles east of here. 8 miles, something like that.
And it looks like an awesome salad. Now I added the red peppers to it, but that's it. And well, the bread on the side. It came with all this stuff and it looks amazing. I haven't tasted it yet, but I was going to say that this, although it's very aesthetically pleasing, when I should show you a full package, but you can just go to the store and find one.
It comes with different things.
Yeah, it had all different things in here. So it had this, it looked kind of Japanese in there, right? And or something. And maybe Chinese, I'm not sure, but it didn't look Indian to me. But I mean, although they do have, well, anyway, I decided to make the chai to go along because the Buddha, he came from India. So,
well, South Asia, strictly speaking, I think he came from Nepal, but it's... Yeah, just inside the border. What's now Nepal? I mean, it wouldn't have been separated, I don't think, back then. So, yeah.
But yeah, on the bottom it says, open and squeeze sides, open and flip tray over, lock, shake, and enjoy. So I should have done that, because what I was going to say was it's really hard to get all of these ingredients out on the, like, to flip it over onto the plate and to get them to stay on the plate. and it certainly didn't look aesthetically pleasing while I was doing that. And anyway, But maybe if I try it the way it actually says to in the instructions, then it will work out better. I'm not sure. But what an awesome salad. Good job, Coaldale.
Does it say on the bottom what the name of it? I won't mention the company here. I don't know. Can't see. Oh. Anyway.
Well, I can see somebody who, like if I'm giving them a good review, a good product review, I can't see them wanting to.
Well, if you're reviewing the product, it's a little bit different. Well, I don't know. I think maybe they don't want to be associated with the truth, you know? And then they're blocking what's happening. If you're reviewing a product,
well, that could
they
be.
shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's censorship, right?
One would think, but I'm not going to chance it. So I'm just going to tell you that product was from Coaldale. I'm not telling you the name of it. Although I guess I did, didn't I, at the beginning? Well, I don't think I gave you the name of the company. Not sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you have to talk about?
The CBC.
Okay.
Listening to Tom Power. I generally like Tom Power. Not just because he comes from Newfoundland. But CBC, you are triggering the tokenism that you're blasting your people. Blacks and natives. It's just again and again and again. So he's interviewing a...
Well, yeah, and that bothers me only because I don't want to see passive, good, kind, Native and Black people treated badly because they'll be put in with the whole same boat. And that's not right and it's not fair. But when, I mean, things are turning kind of pre-World War II-y. And I don't want to see passive people get hurt.
Yeah. A bit like the 30.
And honestly, I think that a lot of the aggressive propagandists that are working with the CBC, they know exactly what they're doing. Honestly, I think that they're trying to get people killed.
I hope not.
Yeah, I hope not too. But there's a lot of aggressive propagandists out there that are revolutionary and they're aggressive. So revolutions are bloody. And you know, if aggressive people want to spill their own blood, okay, that's one thing.
Go find some, get involved in
you can join some fight
mixed
club
martial
or something.
arts.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
But
get lost. Don't get innocent people involved.
hurt.
Pound yourselves into the pulp. Pound yourselves into oblivion. I don't care. They always seem to take out way more than their fair share of innocence. That's Nazis and fascists and commies and anarchists.
You might want a little honey in it. It's sweet enough for me.
It's a little bitter.
Oh, you already had some of the chai. Well, the honey's right there. Whenever you want it.
So I'm going to go wash my hands and then I'm going to talk a little bit more.
Amazing salad. They did such a good job. This is how to do it. If you're a farmer and you're wondering, okay, well, how can I make a little more income off my product? Value-added products like this. Yeah, the packaging. So sinful. But that's really the way people are going. Oh, hello. I should show you. You see him up there? I love those guys. It was one of the babies that James and I were trying to get to live this summer was one of those. He was such a sweet little baby. I miss that little guy. I pretty much had him here constantly. Well, we had him for, I don't know, a couple weeks or
So you find something to chat about to people at home there?
Yeah.
That's good. I also want to talk about CBC and Charles Mills. He died a while back. They were styling him as a philosopher. I think he probably, well, he might have actually. He styled himself as a philosopher. Maybe he was enough of a Marxist to say he was an anti-philosopher or something like that. But apparently he studied Marxism. I don't know if he was a Marxist himself. I suspect he was. CBC, I don't pay you to glorify and laud Marxists. I don't care if they're people, or what you style as people of color. There's plenty of people of color who aren't Marxists. So cut it out. Marxism is dead as a doornail. You'll get all sorts of Marxists and their ilk, fellow travelers and useful idiots, talking about late capitalism. Okay, Marxism, it's late Marxism in the sense that it's as dead as a doornail. That's the term that you use in obituary. That's the way I'm using it. Marxism is deader than Charles Mills. In other words, mention the dude dying, but don't glorify him. Cut that out. You guys, you're triggering people all over the place. Real triggering. I'm not talking about microaggression. I'm talking verbal macroaggression. You guys are awful and you are stupid. You are suicidal. You stupid idiots. You are, what's happening is what happened, Pauline mentioned the 30s. What happened is you'll get people saying, oh man, fascism was a reaction to social democracy. What are you talking about? You look at when Mussolini came to power, 22. The Social Democrats were the, if I'm not mistaken, the most powerful party in Germany in the late 19th century. That's a generation after. Nazism started cooking in Germany roughly the same time, after World War II. Well, again, that's roughly a generation after. It was the Social Democrats were the biggest party in Germany, if I'm not mistaken, in the late 19th century. What happened in the intervening time? This is right after World War II, or World War I. Oh, the Russian Revolution! Nazism and fascism were reactions to former Social Democrats in Russia, but they split off from the Social Democrats, and they called the Social Democrats Mensheviks, and they the minority, when really they were the minority. They called themselves the majority, the Bolsheviks. These movements were a reaction to communism. Get that straight, you idiots. And it's what's happening now. It's the same thing. It's you get all these militia things. It's a reaction to bad economic times like the 30s were, but it's a reaction to the lying viciousness of communism. Guys, you're useless, useless, useless idiots. And I cannot stand either of you. I cannot stand the fascists out there. I cannot stand the Nazis out there. I cannot stand the commies out there. And I cannot stand the anarchists out there. You guys are useless. Like Pauline says, get in a fight club. Get in MMA or something like that and smash yourselves into a pulp. Smash yourselves, please, into oblivion. Get lost. Find some island and kill yourselves. Don't get everyone else involved. Useless. Useless. So, see, what was the big idea last night on Nala Ayed's so-called Ideas program? What the hey was she talking about?
I don't think you're missing an episode now.
Well, it's just I tend to be on the move around that time. Believe me, I don't tune in. They're talking about the university. What was wrong with the universities? What was wrong with Nala Ayed last night? I mentioned some of it to you.
Did you?
I'm kind of hoping. Well, it'll come back to me, and you'll get yours, Nala Ayed, for what you're doing with my coin, Pauline's coin, and our Chihuahua's coin. I really resent that.
That was a top-notch salad.
Yeah, there we go.
I really hope that product stays on the market, even though the packaging is horrendous. But it's very visually appealing. I can't see why people wouldn't want to buy that when they're, out and about and need something to eat.
So going from the sublime to the ridiculous, Friedlander, I think, is our foreign minister, our very foreign minister. External affairs, I think. That's how they'd style it. And they might have shifted her over. I don't know what sort of... I think she's talking about moving across borders in the United States. The United States is talking about it within a month or so, opening up the land borders to the United States to foreigners. So Friedlander is saying, you know what she said? about COVID. Hold on. How much time do you think she's given? Hold on for a few more weeks. This is something out of Jason Kenney's.
They think it's going to get better in a few more weeks? When the days are getting shorter and the nights are getting colder?
What is she thinking? I mean, every time something like this happens, Pauline says, they're doing this by design. What are you doing? You're setting people up for a fall. And people get cynical about this. They don't get skeptical, they get cynical about you when you say stupid things like that. Friedlander, resign now! That's totally irresponsible. Speaking of totally irresponsible, you missed this. On the radio today, this has been in the news. Or it's been, people have known about it. This is the first time I've heard about it. Do you know that Canada was on track to develop to manufacture a vaccine here in Canada, starting one day after Pfizer started there?
No.
Yeah, I'm just hearing about it today. This was sometime, I believe, in March. Guess what country it was that they contracted to test their, and ultimately, if it worked out, manufacture their.
India? China? Oh my God.
OMG! China. And the company that they were associated with, guess what arm of the government? Or, government. It was involved with.
I don't know.
Run by it wasn't by the health system. It wasn't by the agricultural people who rule the agricultural thing or the economic thing. It was the Chinese military.
Oh my God.
OMG, all caps. Well, it's already all caps. But exclamation mark upside down like you've got in the Spanish world, and exclamation mark right side up at the end of that, OMG. Maybe exclamation marks in between O, exclamation mark, M,
so
exclamation.
So it looks like our government's in bed with the Chinese government.
Well, the Chinese government pulled the plug, you see, and they kept us waiting on tenterhooks. So they had an expert on this sort of stuff from Dalhousie University, someone who's, I think, supposed to be working on it. And I get two different stories, if I heard correctly. I had to hit the washroom really badly. Oh. And so I didn't catch everything. But he was saying it didn't put us behind one moment. And then he said it put us behind. It cost us time. And I went, okay, I know you're a university dude, but get it straight. You see what I'm saying? Didn't put us behind one moment, but it cost us time. If the latter is true, what the Chinese committed is a crime against humanity. You see, it's the military doing it. A war crime. I want to know how many people died as a result of the Chinese juking us around like that. Now, I want to know how stupid Justin Trudeau is, or whomever was making this decision. You know, they're saying they pulled the plug on us because of the thing about that Huawei or whatever, whatever it is, person getting arrested here, and then the two Michaels getting arrested in there. They were kidnapped. Okay, not arrested. They were kidnapped and held for ransom. You know, that's a war crime. No. Well, we really should consider anything the Chinese do as a war crime. They've done any number of things to show that they are on a war footing with everyone else in the world. Taiwan, for example, they're allies of the United States. They should be our allies, and they have planes flying over and stuff like that.
People have to realize that we're in a world war right now.
We're in a world war with China right now.
Yeah.
You know, like you can say, oh man, don't say it. That'll trigger them. They don't give a flying flock. I'm saying flock. They don't care what I say or what you say or anyone says. They're on a program. They're on a real long, can we call it a march, a long goose step. And they'll be stepping on your guys' faces. They already are. This thing was, whether or not they let this thing loose or had it waiting to loose it on the world. They loosed it on the world. They got WHO saying don't close the borders. They did this intentionally, loosing it on the world. It looks as though they didn't develop this technologically, but my suspicion is increasingly when I see all this stuff happening, what they did was they were messing around with what they had left over from SARS or other stuff, and they were just letting it cook, mutate naturally in some sort of vat or something like that there, or in critters really. And they're just waiting till they got something that looked really, really good, and then they go, okay, we'll test it out on people in Wuhan. We don't care for some of the people around there. And then, oh yeah, that looks awesome, you know, because 50% of the people that get it are asymptomatic. It only affects old people. People kind of let it loose, and then we can let loose more varieties and stuff like that, or they'll cook it up. Yeah. We'll get on the internet and we'll get things roiling, particularly in the United States, but also in England, you know, roiling about, you know, getting people who are anti-vaxxers already, not wanting to get the vaccine. We'll be getting people like Theresa Tam to be saying, who's been involved with WHO, so people in the WHO say, masks don't work. Fact is, they will have negative consequences. They'll actually make things worse. Mm-hmm. You know, you know, when you look at all the things, well, I've been saying that the Chinese, but it's the refuse to call it the People's Republic of China. It's not a republic. The Respublica means the people's thing, the public's thing. It's not that. It is the what was I going to call it? Yeah, I'm not going to call it the emperors, although I could. Emperors, res intelligentsia. Well, res intelligentsia, I have to make intelligentsia into an adjective in this case. And of China, that's good. That's good. But what I'm going to call it is well, I can't call it, the communists portray themselves as the vanguard of the revolution. So it's like avant-garde, right? The front guard, but they're really reactionary. So what's the opposite in French of avant? Oh, it's derrière. Derrière guard. You flunkies that are in power in China. Also Putin, okay? The derrière guard of the res intelligentiae of China.